When I took my health back, I got everything back. Tenfold. Things have never been better since I took my health back. That's not just mental. That is physical. If you start with you and then work your way outwards, everything becomes better. So for those that just work on the spiritual aspect of things or the mental aspect of things, that's great, but you're doing half the fucking job. The other part of it is physical. You cannot have mental fully 100% without having the physical as well. There's always going to be something in the back of your mind. Always. When you look in the mirror or when you get around a group of people that are also fucking fit and also do their thing with physical fitness, not just mental fitness. When you get around a group of people like that and you haven't been working on that, it's going to be in the back of your mind. Don't care if you got 100 grand in the bank or if you got 10 million in the bank. It will be in the back of your mind. It will come up as a topic of conversation. You cannot avoid it. You cannot do one fully. You can do it close to fully, but you will never get there 100% if you're not doing the other thing. When I took my health back, when I dropped the booze fully and I stopped it, I quit it, and I stopped the drugs fully, and I committed myself to saying, okay, now that I've dropped these vices that I used to have for years, and I said, I'm not just going to go to the gym and do some curls or do a bench or squat something. I'm actually going to take it serious like I used to, like when I was a kid, like when I used to compete in athletic competitions, when I played a sport. Even those times, I started drinking real young. I was drinking by the time I was a freshman. I was doing shit by the time, drugs. I was doing that by the time I was in 10th, 11th grade. Didn't help. If those things hadn't been picked up, who knows how far something could have been taken if I wasn't hindering myself. I'm always going to think about it. Anyone else that was through a period of time where they had vices that they held on to and they weren't fully focusing on not just mental health but physical health, and they look back to opportunities that maybe weren't seized or maybe weren't taken 100%, you're going to look back at the things that maybe you should have dropped or shouldn't have done. So why would you continue to do that if you know that it holds you back? Why would you continue to do it if you knew it held you back once upon a time? You need to not just go and hit the gym, do some curls, do a squat, and then you're going and hitting the bar on Friday and Saturday nights with the boys and girls. That will not suffice. It will not work. You will not see full potential if you do not give it 100%. 100% does not come unless 100% is given. You feel me? It is never going to work. I finally had the first successful year of my life when I took back my health 100%, when I started to give everything 100%. That is when you see the needle move. Maybe, it may be, and there's plenty of examples in the past of people that 30, 40, 50 years, you'll move the needle, not going 100%. Would I rather be a millionaire or a billionaire at the age of 35 versus 65, 70? Who the fuck wouldn't? And if the opportunity is there to do that, would that not be more valuable at a young age to have that level of success than someone that took 40, 50, 60 years to get that same success? Does that make sense? You must start working on not just your mental, but your physical. And when you work on your physical, it is important that you keep in mind that capability is what breeds confidence. If you just have the looks, but you cannot actually function when it comes crunch time, when there's a situation that arises and you cannot handle yourself, or you cannot handle being in a competition, or you cannot handle being in a confrontation, or you cannot handle competing, these things, they're going to affect you. Capability that is where confidence starts, is your capability. That's kind of where I found myself. For me, last year and the year before that is when I finally started getting into, okay, I'm going to think more about functional fitness. I'm going to think more about functionality in general. And you start to look at other people that are doing these new facets of exercise, these new facets of physical fitness. Guys, I'll call out a few people that maybe you should go check out. Rich Froning is a great guy to look at. Matthew Frazier is a great guy to look at. These two people are examples of folks that came out of CrossFit and then went on to do other endeavors. And whenever we say CrossFit, everyone's like, oh, CrossFit's this, CrossFit's that. Those guys would smoke you if it came crunch time and they were like, all right, let's do this, this, and that in a row, and let's see who dies first. They'll smoke you. End of the day. If you're just sitting there doing your benching, you're doing your squatting, and you're chasing an aesthetic, and that's all you're chasing, it's not going to be a happy ending if it comes crunch time for you to actually hold your own. For me, I used to be the biggest proponent of staying away from anything that even looked remotely like CrossFit, looked remotely like Olympic lifting. I used to talk shit about these things all the time. If I were 20, 21, 22, and I had someone come up to me and they tried telling me, oh, you should do more of a functional type of workout. You should pick up a fucking kettlebell. You should start working on cleans. You should start working on snatches. You should start working on calisthenics. I would shut them out immediately, and I wouldn't listen to them. Yet every other year I walked around with an injury. I was never fully functional. And so therefore I wasn't confident. And every single time I got around people that were pushing the needle, that were doing these new ideas of fitness, that were working in these facets of fitness that were still kind of being shit on and being talked badly about, it never seemed to sit well with me. In the back of my mind, I kind of felt not 100% comfortable in my skin because I knew that I wasn't capable. I looked the part, but I could not perform the part. And this is one of the things that on this channel and on the podcasts that I'm going to be dropping every single week starting next week, we're going to talk more and more about it. I have a couple people in my life right now that I'm going to bring onto those podcasts and eventually bring onto this channel. And we're going to talk more and more about that. And if you go back to the individuals that I named, like Rich Froning, for example, you go and look at this guy, he looks in shape. He looks good aesthetically, but he also can perform. When you are able to do that, and you come around to this new philosophy of thinking, and you come around to this new idea that, hey, you know what? I can look good and perform good at the same time. Great quote I heard, Mike O'Hearn. All right, and he's probably the most functional bodybuilder, I would say, at this point in time. Him, Larry Wheels is a good one too. People for you guys to look at. He said, nice body, but what can you do with it? Nice body, but what can you do with it? Right? If all you do is look good, but you can't last a minute, if it came crunch time and you had to do something, or you were in a situation where you had to call upon your physical abilities to get you out of something, or to save someone else, or just in general to last a long time. I'll tell you what won't last you a long time is just hitting the bodybuilding shit. And I'll ruffle a lot of feathers saying that, but that shit don't cut it. You got to be able to play the part as well. And when you can look the part and play the part, you start to walk around with a new level of confidence. For me, I've never felt better in my life until I started training in this way. Now, if we pull back a little bit, because I'm going to talk more about that in the upcoming episodes, we will talk more about that. I'll get more into detail about it. I don't want it to be the number one thing about this channel, but you guys need to start training, period. If you're not going to the gym at all and you're not picking up a weight at all, then you have a bigger problem to face before we start talking details and we start talking specifics. You need to start working on your physical. It cannot just be mental. It cannot just be spiritual. All three together, that will move the needle quick if you guys are looking for that. Now, if you're looking to just move at a snail's pace and you're looking to move with the crowd, well, that's one thing. Maybe you shouldn't watch this channel anymore. The goal is to get more people. I want to see as many people as possible achieve as much as they potentially can in the shortest amount of time. Time is valuable. Time is precious. Time is the most valuable asset around. Time is more important than money. If I told you, think about this. If I told you that I'll give you $1 million or $1 billion, I'll give you $1 billion today, but you only have 24 hours to live. Or I'll give you no dollars, but you can keep going on with life and you can live as long as you can keep up with. Which would you choose? Would you choose the $1 billion and die tomorrow, or would you keep on living? I already know your answer. Everyone's answer is the same. I ask everybody this question. Every client that I work with, every person that I work one-on-one with, I always ask this question, and the answer is always the same. You keep on living. So time, therefore, is more valuable than money. And if you use your time properly and you are giving every facet, spiritual, mental, and physical is just as important. If you give all three of these your actual 100%, and you drop the booze, you drop the weed, you drop the drugs, you will do more with your time than other people did in 40, 50. You will do in 5 years what other people took 30, 40, 50 years to do. Does that not sound appealing to you? If it doesn't, close the channel out. Don't even subscribe. If it does, then you need to heed these words and you need to start putting more into everything that you're doing and drop the vices. Because if you want to get to somewhere where someone else is and you're far behind them, why would you give yourself hindrances? Why would you give yourself handicaps? That's the point. That is the point. Create a life that you do not need a vacation from. Because everyone lives for the vacation. Everyone lives for those couple days where they can just not do anything and they can just day drink and they can kick back and not think about life. What if you had a fucking life that you didn't need a vacation from? What is it going to take to create a life like that? Think about that. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.